All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Welcome to Keeping It Real on the All Sports, All Plays Network. I am the moderator. I am the host. My name is Ray Cruz. You know me from the College Breakdown show on Saturdays and Bring It on Mondays. Let's introduce our panels here for tonight's show. First, we're going to bring in Freddie Henderson. How you doing, Freddie? Unmute yourself.
Well, that's a horrible start. Let's try it again. I'm doing wonderful. I'm great. I'm just glad to be here with the gentlemen. Finally can do a show with you because we know ever since you joined this network, Ray, you've been running from the business, but you here now. Let's go.
No, I don't run. You just move me to different shows. That's how you get rid of competition there.
Oh, really?
Next, let's bring in Andre here. How you doing, Andre? Introduce yourself to the fans.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? Pleasure to be here. I'm ready to just out-talk Fred, man. Fred talks a lot of trash, and I'm about to just put him in his place. Let's get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got a good show going on here. Hey, let's talk about the Antonio Brown. Is it Antonio Brown done in the NFL? That's going to be the big question here today on the first topic of this great Keeping It Real show. So let's go, Freddie. Start it off with you. Can you hear me, Freddie?
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time. I'm sorry.
We're talking about the Antonio Brown. Is he done in the NFL?
No, he's not done in the NFL. Because one thing we know when it comes to the NFL, the only thing that they care about is what if you can help them win. And if a team feels like Antonio Brown can help them win football games, they will give him the opportunity. I will not be surprised if a Kansas City Chiefs come in the mix. And so you know what? It's a month left in the season. We have Super Bowl aspirations. Let's give Mahomes another target. I would not be surprised if he become a Chief. The Green Bay Packers, hell, even the Rams. You can't count them out. I mean, we seen what happened when it came to Odell Beckham Jr. Hey, who say they want to go after him? I mean, hell, if I was the Arizona Cardinals, hey, with D-Hop going down, I would take a look at Antonio Brown. So no, you can't just say. Since this man makes bonehead decisions, he go crazy from time to time that he won't get on another team. That is not the case. The NFL cares about what can you do for me? Can you help me win? And he will find himself back in the NFL.
Fred. I'm so glad that I'm here today because I got to put you in your place because you were absolutely wrong. There is no way. Let's just go down the Antonio Brown history line of his historical departure from the NFL at this point. So let's go back to Pittsburgh, and we all know since that. I mean, I'm be honest with you. I feel as though since that Brissett hit, I don't think he's personally been the same mentally. I do feel like this is a little bit more of a topic where he needs help before he needs to get back on the field. But in regards to him coming back to the NFL, there's no way he comes back to the NFL. There's no way a team at this point now would bring that type of character, and that's what we're gonna have to focus on. The character of a player. No one brings that type of character to a winning culture. And we've seen this story happen before as far as these type of individuals who come into the league, and it's the same. I mean, look, if it wasn't for the whole marijuana thing getting passed in the NFL, Randy Gregory wouldn't be as successful as he is. You know what I mean? There's certain things about Antonio Brown that he needs to correct first before he comes back into the business. It's you know what it is with him, and this is the perfect example. You guys remember the Chappelle Show, right?
Yeah.
When keeping it real goes wrong. When keeping it real goes wrong, you cannot act like that in the profession and think that you can come back and get a job. Could you imagine? Let me ask you a question. Could you imagine if Rob was just like, you know what? F ASAP, we're not doing this, blah, 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 blah. By the way, can I come back to work? No, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. And the only way that I can honestly agree with a point that you've made as far as him being a competitor and stuff like that is the simple fact that we're living in a COVID world. And if the NFL continues to do the protocols they do now, then he'll get another job. Otherwise, he'll be sitting at home waiting for The Rock to open up his own league.
Chris, Ray, do you want to jump into this?
Yeah, I want to talk about a little bit of something too. You're talking about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's got a lot of stuff that he's done over the years and stuff like this, but I don't think this situation here in Tampa Bay was his own doing. I think it was a doing by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though the coach and Tom Brady came out and said they weren't trying to roadblock him of getting his incentives and stuff like that he was on pace to get. But you also got to remember, Victor Cruz, when Cruz came to Tampa Bay, they did the same thing to him. They blocked his incentives, so they wouldn't pay his incentives that he signed when he was a free agent coming out of New York. So, I mean, the Bucs has history of trying to block wide receivers of getting their payday when they are getting close. And I think this is another situation, too. And then I think Antonio Brown was a little injured. I don't think he was ready to come back, and he's already said he wasn't ready to come back. So I don't think this is one of the black flags that you can throw on Antonio Brown. I think this is a black flag you can throw on the organization, because if the organization don't want to pay him his incentives that he was on pace to get, that's kind of wrong myself.
No, so, but also, hold on, Dre, hold on. But one thing we got to remember as well, Antonio Brown was already on thin ice coming back with the whole vaccination card situation. Okay, and let's not forget, Bruce Arians was not fond of Antonio Brown from the get-go. The only reason he was in Tampa was because of Tom Brady. Absolutely. So this could have been a situation to use, flip the script on Brown to get him up out of there because of the relationship between him and Bruce Arians. But
you just proved my point, though, Fred. If only Tom Brady wanted him, who else is going to bring him in?
A team that says, you know what? All I have to do is deal with this guy for 1 month. 1 month. I don't have to deal with him for a whole off season. I don't have to deal with him for training camp, a season, for 1 month.
So you you honestly think there's a realistic chance within, we'll say, 10 days, he'll get picked up by a playoff roster?
Yes. If you look, like I said, the Arizona Cardinals losing D-Hop. We don't know what condition D-Hop is going to be in coming back.
He's not even going to be on the playoff roster.
Well, if they make it so far in the playoffs, he will. But you mean to tell me they'll be okay going into the season with the AJ Green as your best receiver, or Zach Ertz as your best receiver? And when you have Antonio Brown, when you can only deal with him 1 month?
That's what I'm stating. You're stating that he can come in next year. I'm asking.
No. I'm talking about this year.
There's no way out of all we're at 8 teams in the playoffs. 7. We're at 8 teams now for the playoffs, right? There's no way out of those 16 teams, none of those teams are going to put him on the playoff roster. Let's just go down the line. Let's realistically go down the line. Let's start off with the NFC. You know Aaron Rodgers is not going to bring him in there. How
do we know that? How do we know that?
First of all, Devontae is going to be like, bro, it's not happening. It's not happening. That's not going to happen.
You do okay.
He doesn't fit that culture. He don't fit that culture in Wisconsin.
So when Odell Beckham Jr. was released and cut by the Browns this year, the Packers was one of the teams that was interested in Odell Beckham Jr.
But that's Odell.
You mean to tell me if he had a chance to get Antonio Brown, a guy who's he's not the same Antonio like he was in 2017, but he's still a valuable piece. He would clearly be the second best receiver on that team, on a Green Bay Packers team.
I don't think they want to mess with the chemistry they got going on in Green Bay.
Who would be number 2?
As far as who would be the number 2 wide receiver on that roster?
Yeah. talent-wise.
It would still be Lazard. It would still be Lazard.
Hey,
But,
man, this show's called Keeping It Real, brother. Keep it real. Really?
How
Really?
about the Dallas Cowboys?
and that's another team.
Ooh,
Right?
that's a good point, too. They lost Gallup.
And you know me. I'm a DC for life. You know what I mean? For life. I don't want that culture. I rather have. Because first of all, we're America's team. I don't think we should be America's team, but we don't need that extra attention brought to the team. It's bad enough we're going to have all the attention on every single play, every time Mike McCarthy doesn't call a timeout on time. We don't need the extra BS that comes along with it. We don't need that. Now, mind you, of course, it looks good on paper. He'll fit in right there on the slot with Gallup, but that chemistry now, no, not at all.
Well, Jerry Jones is known to pull some of these kind of things out of his back pocket too. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. Jerry Jones is known to it, but we all know that Stephen Jones is actually running that team right now.
Is he?
Yeah, Stephen Jones.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little insight on your Dallas Cowboys here. When I went down when Jacksonville played Dallas, I went down. We took this tour down there. Well, right. You know, Jerry's got this little perch down there on the 50-yard line on the bottom of his press box. He's got a little red phone, look like the bat phone by 1960 Batman. All he has to do is hit that phone, and that phone goes red, and he tells his radio station what to talk about. He tells the coach to go ahead and throw the instant red flag if he need to. I mean, you know, Jerry Jones is known to go override everybody that's running that team.
I think it's more of a. Of course, he's the face of the team. Everybody knows he's the face of the Cowboys. But I think through these past couple of years, let's just say let's go back 3-4 years. You can see within the draft where Stephen Jones has had his hands on this team, where Jerry might sign the checks, but Stephen's running that team in the background.
Yeah,
I guarantee that. Hey, my brother, you can say that all day long. But Jerry
I'm trying to convince myself. You hear it, right?
Yeah, Jerry Jones has the last say so when it comes about the. Here it is right here. Hey, son, what you think about this move, Daddy? I think you know what, son. I think it'd be better if we go this way instead of that way. That's how that conversation.
I don't know, man. I got.
But you know what? You know what Steven do to soften them up, though. He does it, Daddy. I want you to come to the house, me and the wife. We got some dinner, got a couple of drinks over here. Hey, but Daddy, we were talking about earlier. All right, son, we'll do it this time. We'll try your way this time.
Fred, really I love your Stephen A. Cowboy voice, man.
Well, you know, while we are now segued onto the Cowboy, will the Cowboys fall off in the playoffs? That's the next question.
Who you want to
go ahead, Andre?
Let Dre go first. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been quiet all year.
You're on the spot now.
I've been quiet all year because, you know, I'm a Cowboy fan. I go back to Jay Nowacek, Moose Johnson, early 90s. You know, I mean, I've been here since day one. I've been quiet because I know this story. I've read this book. I've seen this magazine, edition. And I'm expecting the same thing as always. We might get a win, but we'll eventually lose. This team is going to go as far as Mike McCarthy lets them go. I think that we are built for a Super Bowl, but I think when it comes down to,
I'm sorry,
to managing the game, that's where I think we lack the talent. I think we lack the talent in coaching. I don't think that Kellen Moore is going to be prepared for this type of environment. And to be honest with you, the last thing I want to do right now is, last time I checked the seedings, we will be playing Arizona if the playoffs started today, right?
That's last time I saw it.
Yeah, the last person I want to see in Texas Stadium is Kyler Murray again. He has never lost in Dallas. That's his home away from home. So I just don't feel secure. And then not only with Gallup going out, we got to see how Tyron Smith just got put on a COVID list today. Hopefully, he comes back. Micah Parsons as well. We don't know how these people are going to react coming back from COVID. I just feel like I'm just going to wake up Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, or whatever the case might be, and I'm just not going to turn ESPN on because I just don't want to see Stephen A's face. I don't want to see anybody's "I told you so's." I live outside of Philly. I don't want to go to Wawa. I have that gut feeling Like, you know how you know your girl's going to break up with you? I got that gut feeling it's going to happen. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And it hurts my soul.
My brother
It hurts
from
my soul,
another
man.
mother. I tried to tell you Cowboy fans in the beginning of the season when y'all was screaming, how about them Cowboys?
I was quiet.
We
I was
them
quiet.
boys.
I was
We
quiet.
got Zeke. Oh, you see how Paula's looking. Oh, Dak after that ankle injury. Oh, and my defense. Do you see Parsons? Can you see CeeDee Lamb? Oh, what about Amari Cooper? Oh, Michael Gallup, he's back from the first injury. And I told you to stay calm, pump the brakes just a touch. I told y'all when it comes January, February, it's over. It will be over. And look where we're at. Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls of all ages, the Cowboys is officially done.
Let me
They,
ask you.
you know what my goal is? You know what my goal is? This will make my Christian right. This will be my present right here. You know,
I'm listening.
I want them to win the first round of the playoffs. I
No, you
want
don't.
them to do that. I want them to go to a divisional game, by the way. I want them to go up to Lambeau Field to play against that bad man in Aaron Rodgers. And he put on a show. Oh, and I'm one of the people that hope the Super Bowl is pushed to AT&T Stadium this year. I don't want it in L.A. And I want him to come to your city. And Big D, 2 hours away from me, because we know what he like to do in Dallas. We know what he like to do in that state. We talk about Kyler Murray. Whoa, oh, Rodgers like to put on a show. And I want him to put on a whooping.
You know what, Rob?
Super Bowl.
You know what, Rob? You know what, Fred?
Ooh.
I usually go against this. I changed my statement. We're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Because you know why? It's people like you that bring that energy. It's 2022. I ain't trying to hear that, man. You know, it's a different team. It's a different mode. I'm with it. Because you know why? I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if we're talking facts. You know, I do feel the way I feel about the team just because, you know, historically we've done what we've done. But if you look at the matchups, and if you let's prime example, like we go back to that Arizona game, right? You take away what those 4 offensive holding penalties, and not just only any offensive holding penalties. Those were key plays that had a big indication on how the game was going to outcome. You take those little penalties away. You take that mismanagement of that timeout earlier in the end of the fourth quarter, where if we'd have had that timeout, we would have been able to challenge that play and we've been able to get the ball back because we all saw that it was a fumble. There's little things, and like I said, we cannot let these little things happen in the playoffs. If we handle our responsibility as a team and everybody does their part, I see no problem with us running through the Cardinals, because if at the end of the day, we were right in that game. Greg Zuerlein doesn't miss that field goal, we're not even in this position to even talk about this right now.
Were y'all?
You said what?
Were y'all in that game? No, were y'all? Because the game that I saw, that it really was not close at all until that fourth quarter. The Arizona, then their offense really was not throwing the football. They was more running the football to run the clock out. So was it really as close as you saying it is, sir?
100%. You got to think about it. Like we had a terrible first quarter. Of course we did. We did. But throughout that game, we were still in the game. There was no doubt in my mind when it came down to it. If we would have been able to get that last stop, we were going to win that game.
One thing I'm afraid of, sir, about this show going forward, we might have to find this little co-host when it comes to February when the Cowboys lose, because our friend Dre might have a heart attack. He might have a heart attack.
You can ask my wife. I already told her that I'm already booking my flight to Texas. I'm coming. When we win the Super Bowl, I will be there. Yes, I will be. I will be standing next to cousin Dak. You think I'm playing? I'm going to be there.
But you know what? I'll make you a deal. Dre.
What's up, man?
Y'all win the Super Bowl. I'm 2 hours away. I'll pull up there. And I'll pull up whatever Dallas Cowboy player jersey you want. And I will scream out loud, how about them Cowboys? I'll make you that deal.
I'm gonna need, Rob, you heard this, right?
Huh?
You heard
Well,
that, right?
look at this. I'm gonna tell you about Freddie here real quick. Freddie will say what he will do, but when it comes to time to do it, he won't do it
When?
unless it's the Lakers wins their championship game. So
I've
I mean,
always
that's the only
done
time he
my
really
star
does.
side of things.
I bet these sports
I do
things,
my
man. Don't
side of
Welson your
things,
bet,
sir.
man. Don't Welson no bet.
Well, let's be realistic about the Cowboys here. Let's take one step at a time. Everybody throwing the Cowboys out to be in the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season and all this stuff and everything that's going on. Let's be realistic. Let the Cowboys build themselves, get back into the playoffs. That's one step. If they don't get past that wild card game, that's a stepping step. Next year, they take the next step, win at least a wild card on the next round, and step it up that way. But just like the Cowboy fans and like the Redskin fans, I've lived in there, all these different places with all these fan bases. They all talk one thing is they're gonna win championship and nothing else. But then when they lose out of the playoffs, most of the Cowboy fans they downplay it. Be realistic as thing. You're supposed to be the America's team. That's the stamina back in the 80s and all the way up because they didn't have these 32 teams that are in the NFL right now. I mean, most of the teams watch the Cowboys play. I know when I grew up in North Carolina before the Carolina Panthers came around, the Cowboys was the designated team in that area where I lived at. So we had to see the Cowboys play, the Redskins play. If you look at this different things too, I talked to my sister. My sister's a big Cowboys fan. She was a Cowboys fan all through her life and stuff like that. And she's even getting on the board, taking it one step at a time. But these Cowboys fans are realistic. Y'all won championships in the past. That's past history. And that's where everybody's filling off of. But you got to let the pieces fall in place where they are. I mean, they got a good defensive piece last year, this year's draft and Micah Parsons.
But Rob, the pieces are in place right now, though, Rob. There's no reason why at this point with the way that this roster is built that we cannot win the Super Bowl. And at the end of the day, it's gonna come.
Anytime you mention the Cowboys and Super Bowl, I just get a laugh. I'm sorry.
But
it's cool. Chuck it up. Chuckle. I promise you, at this point, when we'll talk, we'll revisit, we'll come back.
Well, I'm gonna tell you real quick. Your piece right now that you're really missing is that head coaching piece. McCarthy is not that piece.
And that's what I've been preaching. I don't like Mike McCarthy. I think that he didn't win that Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers won that Super Bowl. I don't think. And the crazy thing, I was reading an article the other day, and they were talking about how they came across the whole Mike McCarthy hiring. And what happens is when the Cowboys are in the search for a head coach, they have two piles. Let's say they have one pile over here, and then they have a pile over here. This pile on the right-hand side is a pile that'll actually listen to Jerry Jones and be his little puppet. And then there's another pile of actual candidates that'll be a great coach. He just scoots that left side button a pile away, and he only chooses from the people that he can control. And that's the problem. We're hiring coaches that he feels though they can control instead of hiring coaches that can actually coach. And that's the biggest gripe I have. Mike McCarthy's he's a yes man. That's all he is. He has no backbone. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers wanted him out. You know what I mean? He didn't want him in Green Bay anymore. That's the biggest gripe I have. And be honest with you, I feel like the team feels that way. And I feel like Dak needs to be able to step up in certain situations and call timeout. You're the quarterback. You're the man of the team. Take initiative if you see the coach is not, doing his part. Call timeout, bro. Call timeout. You can do that. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit there, look on the sideline, and wait for this goofy guy over here to make the call. You've been in the league. You know situational football. Be a leader. And that's what I'm praying and I'm hoping, because I have my futures Cowboys bet that they win the Super Bowl. I'm hoping that we do this.
Yeah, we're talking about different things here. This is a good time to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to see we'll talk about the Cincinnati Bengals, how far they will go in the NFL play, and some NBA talks. Keeping it real on the All Sports All Place Network. We'll be right back.
Sponsors and everything.
sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. On sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays.
Welcome back to Keeping It Real on the All Sports All Place Network. I'm Ray Cruz. I am your moderator. We have Andre there. We have Freddie up in the top. So let's get back to it. The Cincinnati Bengals. How far can the Cincinnati Bengals go into the playoffs? Go ahead, Freddie. Start with you, man.
They go in a playoff game. I mean, you know, when you have a guy by the name of Joe Burrow, who's a stud, by the way, who will be the next Aaron Rodgers, who will be the next Tom Brady, because he has the it factor.
That boy's that's a bad man right there.
But it's not time yet. It's not time for them to go on a run because who they have to go through. They not ready for the Chiefs. Yes, Greg, I see in the comments. They not ready for the Chiefs. They not ready for that 3-headed monster and Patrick and Tyreek and Travis Kelce. They're not ready for them yet. They're not ready for the Bills. Josh Allen. They're not ready for Diggs in that defense. They're not ready for that as well. They're not ready. They're not even ready for old young kid. Old young kid down there in the New England. Down there with the Patriots going against Bill Belichick. We know one thing that Bill Belichick do. He takes away what you like to do. And he will make it tough. And I'm not sure if Joe Burrow is ready to go against a Bill Belichick game planning for him. So, like I said, they'll win a playoff game. I can see them winning a playoff game. But there's a competition ahead of them is waiting for them. Greg, you know I had to represent for you, my brother.
The first couple things that you said kind of stuck out to me, where you referred to I call him Smoking Joe, because that's what he reminds me of, man. Smoking Joe. Every time I see that little clip when he's in the locker room and he's getting it, yeah, he got the little cigar. Smoking Joe. One of the things that stuck out to me again is the fact that you compared him to the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time. So with that being said, how could you not?
Whoa! Who's the 2 greatest quarterbacks of all time? Who?
2 of this generation. Let me. I apologize.
Who?
You compared him to Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That is what you just said, right?
No, yeah, you're right.
So with him, with that comparison, how could you not give him a legitimate chance? Let's look at the gauntlet that he has to go through. First matchup that he has to go through, he goes through KC, right? Who's to sit there and say, now mind you, I wouldn't bet against Patrick Mahomes, but who's to sit there and say without that running back that they don't have Clyde Edwards, he's not there. Who's to say that they legitimately cannot beat them? Do you see what happened last week? They just beat them. So it's not like it's not unfamiliar territory. And to be honest with you, with that first game, they get through KC, they can run it. They can run through that table. Because we all know Justin Herbert, if anybody can run through that Cincinnati, Justin Herbert, anybody can run through that I keep saying San Diego, Los Angeles team. Nobody's worried about the Raiders if they make it. The Bills don't know if they're going to show up and be the Bills if not in one day. And come on now, mac and cheese. Nobody's really believing in mac and cheese. If you give me mac and cheese versus Joe Burrow, I'm taking Broadway Joe, and I'm taking Joe. I'm taking Joe Mixon. I'm taking Tyler Boyd. I'm taking T. Higgins. I'm taking Jamar Chase. I'm taking all those weapons over half of those teams that's in the league right on the AFC right now. If you ask me if I had to compare the KC or the Cincinnati to one team in the AFC, and that's Kansas City. And what did they just do? They just beat Kansas City. That's the only team that I can honestly sit there and say they will give them a run, and they can beat them because they already
beat
did.
the Chiefs in the regular season.
They
you
beat
know,
them.
like I know. You know, like I know. Playoffs are different. We do know
that. The only thing that scares me is the inexperience. But let's be honest,
exactly.
That's the only thing that worries.
That's why I bring up a Bill Belichick, who's yes, I agree. Joe Burrow is better than Mac Jones. I agree 1,000% with that. But I know Bill Belichick in that defense is going to take away what that offense with the Bengals like to do.
I don't think he can take away all those weapons. Come on now. All those wide receivers, Joe Mixon, that's too much,
We've seen it before.
That's too – we've seen it before, but we've seen it when he had somebody that can put up 40 points. Mac and Cheese ain't putting up 40 points.
You hear what that? Hey, exactly right. That's the reason why they lost.
I'm not worried about the Patriots, man. I'm sorry. Like, I think Mac and Cheese is a good quarterback, but I think he's more of a game manager than anything. I think if you take Mac and Cheese, you put him in the you trade Mac and Cheese with Zach Wilson. I think you still get the same results.
Oh, you funny.
It's a system. It's a system. And we all know that when you come into this league as a quarterback, I say 70% of your success is built on the system that you're in. Look, you can look at look at so many different quarterbacks. Prime example, Josh Rosen. A great quarterback, never got put in the right system. It's all about systems, man. He got placed in the right one. Talent-wise, he's a good quarterback, but he's not. He's probably. I even go as far as saying this: he's the worst quarterback in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, but if you look at this Bengals team too, you got to look at Lamar Chase. Lamar Chase sets the standards for them.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he has 11 receptions for 266 yards against Kansas City last week on January 2nd. He's got 79 receptions, 1,429 yards, 18.1 average. I mean, they're going to roll a lot of people against him, and that's going to leave the underneath coverages open. That's going to leave the tight ends open. I mean, they got a little bit more weapons than what people think. And Joe Burrow knows how to hit these people in stride. He knows how to hit. And he's got a good pour with Chase since he played with him at LSU, and it shows you right now too. So, and when it gets in the big games, what they did at LSU, they won a championship. So now they got them. So now Chase is getting his second win. He's already put up almost over 400 some yards. About 380 some yards in 2 games. So I mean, Lamar Chase is going to be a beast, and I think they can go far. But like I said, when you play Kansas City in that championship game, that pressure could get on Burrows. It'd be the first time they've been in there. Pat Mahomes has been there before and went to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, but Andy Reid's got to have to find some way to control Chase because Chase had 11 receptions, 266 yards. And if they couldn't do it in that game, I don't think they could do it in that championship game either. So y'all have any rebuttals?
Absolutely. I'm going to go all day. Let's just think about it like this. Kansas City is going to be that first team that they play, right?
Yeah,
looking at that seeding, right?
Yeah.
I saw the line come out the other day. I think it's at -4.5. You're only giving the Chiefs 4.5 points.
Yeah, I mean they did beat them last, so yeah.
They're telling you if it's only 4.5 point spread for them to win right now, come on now, man. Come on, man. Cincinnati got that, bro. Cincinnati money line.
Okay. Hey, don't bet too much money, Nick. You might lose your money, my friend.
Nah, man, get it back all day, bro. I'll get it back on that Super Bowl Cowboys victory.
Well, let's take it out of here and let's go from the football NFL to the NBA. And Klay Thompson's on his way back here in 2022. Does Klay Thompson make Golden State Warriors a contender for a NBA title? Go ahead, Andre. We'll start with you.
They were a contender without him. They were a contender without him. It's just you're just adding extra seasoning to the plate. That's already a championship built team. They last year, Draymond Green made a great quote. He said, being successful makes you more competitive. These past 2 years when the Warriors have been playing, they haven't been playing anything. They know they haven't been in contention for anything. Now with these young players that they've had around during those losing stretches when Klay's been out for the past 2 years, the Jordan Poole, we've seen what Gary Payton's done. They've got the kid Wiseman coming back. I mean, come on now. Their G League team could probably beat half the teams in the East right now. They've got Wiggins. Wiggins is finally playing to what his capability is when we all thought he was going to be when he came out as that number one pick. Andrew Wiggins I've said it since Andrew Wiggins came out. He has the potential to be Scottie Pippen. And he's showing that right now. He's showing that right now.
Oh, man. Lord,
and then you're bringing back one of the greatest shooters of all time. Klay Thompson is going to come up and ramp up his time, maybe 22 minutes a game. He's going to be a factor. And the reason why he's going to be a factor for that team is because you have to be honest with the shooters. Those shooters on that team, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, Draymond, come on, man. That's too much to deal with. And if you look at the West, the West is a 3-team race. We all know. And we're probably going to talk about this later at a later time. The Lakers are frauds. Yeah, they're frauds. You know, they're frauds. The Lakers are the only team I know that get game checks and Social Security checks. They're old as dirt. They have no business being together as a team. I feel like that team alone with the Lakers, they just piled up a bunch of friends that they wanted to ball with the LA Fitness and said, let's run this year. That ain't happening. They're not going to be a factor. The only team I can honestly see that can really give the Warriors a run at this point in time in the Western Conference is, I know my son's going to love this, is the Phoenix Suns. And they've been there last year. They're built for championships. They're the only team at this point in time right now that can give the Warriors a run. We always seen what Utah does. They get to the semifinals and they choke. They choke. Rudy Gobert chokes on his croissant. Donovan Mitchell's not D-Wade, and they choke. It's not happening. So, in my opinion, I see the Warriors being that team that can come out the West and actually beat the Bucks because I think the Bucks are going to go.
All right, Freddie, before you talk, man, don't even mention about the Lakers. The Lakers talk is coming soon. So, you go ahead. We stay on the Warriors talk right now. Go ahead, Freddie.
Listen here, Dre. The Warriors have no way and no how, no hell, cannot, will not, shall not be no damn contender because of Klay Thompson. Pump the brakes just a touch. I mean, dude, people in the NBA forgotten that it's not about how you start a season. It's about how you finish a season. Because let's just get that straight. It's not how you started. It's about how you ended. Right now, Golden State and the Phoenix Suns have was the hottest teams started the season off this year. And that's facts.
They still are.
Huh?
They still are the two hottest teams in the league.
I'll say Golden State kind of fizzled down because Steph has not had back-to-back good shooting nights. Let's not forget about that. But I believe Klay Thompson can hurt a Jordan Poole, can hurt a young player development like that because he's not going to be getting the minutes that he's been getting all year long. He's not going to get the same shots that he was getting all year long. Listen, they're not a contender. I'm not going to talk about this team this year, but
how could they not be a contender when this is the same roster, almost daggone near the same roster that they had when they won the chip?
No, when they won the chip, they had it. No. When they won the chip, they had a 7-foot monster by the name of Kevin Durant.
Let's take Kevin Durant's championship away, and when they still won it with Draymond, Clay, Steph, Iggy, don't forget Iggy's there. Come on now, they've been
but
there.
The league has
that.
gotten a lot better since then as well, sir.
And so have they. They've gotten better role players who can stick with the Phoenix Suns and be able to be competitive.
I don't think the Phoenix Suns are a threat in the NBA anyway. So that you don't lose me on that. No.
What
did they do last year?
So let me ask you a question.
What did they do last year?
What did they got to the finals?
Okay, what did they do when they get to the finals?
How can you sit there? That's the first time they.
What did they do when they got to the finals?
Barkley. They lost.
Okay,
they lost 4 straight. They got reverse swept.
Okay.
So, but at the end of the day, you can't take that from them being there.
Listen, man. I'm not going to talk
answer
too
that
much
question.
on this
Just
topic.
answer that question for me. Answer that question for me, Fred. How can you take their legitimate Western Conference title away from them and say that they're not legit?
It's just like I can say the Milwaukee Bucks will never win another championship again in the next 3 to 4 years because that was a fluke season.
That was not the Lakers winning a championship in a bubble. That's a fluke season.
No, that was not a fluke season. Because
it
was fair for everybody. Everybody went to those same
It wasn't fair for everybody. They were
How come it wasn't fair for everybody? Everybody went through the same protocol. Just like the matter of fact, they didn't even want to be in the bubble.
Man, come on, man. You sound like Kyrie right now, bro.
No, Kyrie thinks the earth is flat. I think it's round. But listen here. Everybody and their mama knows if the Los Angeles Lakers was healthy last year, that Phoenix Suns team wasn't beating them. Hell, we've seen Anthony Davis in the last game of the regular season give them 40 without a Bron on the court and tap that tail. I'm tired of people not acting like that wasn't a thing. Like that, I'm tired of them acting like LeBron did not come in that season hurt. I'm tired of people not acting like AD was not banged up in that postseason. And then we're not going to sit up and act like Kyrie, James Harden was not hurt for the Brooklyn Nets. And by the way, he was 1 foot away from sending them behind home as well.
But did they do it?
They went home. They lost.
So that's all I need to know. They didn't do it. What did Phoenix do? They got there. So you can't take the legitimate Western Conference championship.
What did they do? They lost. They could not finish the job. They could not. They got too comfortable. They because they've never been there. Chris Paul like, oh, I'm finally getting there. I'm finally getting there.
You put some respect on the point guard. You put some respect on his name.
On who? What has he ever done in his career?
You put some respect on the point guard. Top 5.
Hold on. You can't call nobody the point guard when they have never won anything. That's disrespect to Magic, to Isaiah, to Oscar Robertson, Steph Curry. You can't do that.
First of all, Steph Curry's not a point guard. Let's establish that he's not a point guard.
He is a point guard. He's always been listed as a point guard. He's not a point guard.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. He might don't play like it, but he is.
He's not a point guard.
He's not a true point guard. He's a shooting guard. He played a shooting guard at Davis University. He came in the NBA. They don't have a point guard on the roster. So he's the only one that can ball handle on the team. So they made him into a point guard. He's not a true point guard because he does not get everybody involved in the game playing.
Exactly.
I mean, Draymond Green is more of a point guard than he is.
Exactly. He's a point forward to the team. Absolutely.
But like I said, he's listed as a point guard in the NBA. He might don't play like it, but he still is. But that's all I got left on this topic because I really got a lot more. I just don't want to unload into this next topic. So
anyway, let me get my 2 cents in here. Golden State with Klay Thompson coming back, it gives them another point guard. It gives them another 3-point shooter in that lineup. It takes the double team away from Curry because you can't double team Curry when Thompson's on the court because Thompson will light you up just like Curry does. And it gives you straight up Draymond Green doing his job in the thing. And if you look at what Golden State did and all this other stuff, the Lakers beat them, that 1 year, but it was because Draymond Green got suspended for that Game 7. If Draymond Green would have stayed in that game and not got suspended for Game 7, I don't think the Lakers would have came back and won like that.
You mean Cleveland?
Yeah, Cleveland. You know, with LeBron on the court. I mean, LeBron never came back from that 3-1, 3-0 game. I can tell. I can catch the money on it because that whole series changed when Draymond Green got ejected
Absolutely.
for that one game.
Draymond Green doesn't get ejected from that game. Golden State wins the finals.
Yeah. And then if you're talking about this too, why the Lakers had to go out and get all these different, all these all-star players, come up and finish their career, and it still really ain't done nothing for them. I mean, they beat Sacramento. Everybody gets happy because they beat Sacramento. They have one game above 500. They won game above 500, number 6 seed. But if you look at Golden State right now and the Suns are tied at 29-8. They got a 10-game lead over the Lakers. I think Klay Thompson can give them that hedge, but I think all it comes down to foul play here. If the Lakers stays healthy and if Davis gets his butt in gear and start playing down low stuff, thinking he's a point guard, playing outside and shooting all these 3-pointers, he does better down low. So, I mean, that's the only thing that is going to handle the Warriors because Warriors really ain't got nobody that can contend with Davis down low if Davis decides he wants to play down low.
Anthony Davis is the softest big man in the league. The softest big man in the league.
No, Cat is softer than him.
Big Cat's not that soft. I mean, he's
that soft. You heard Jimmy
no, Big Cat is custard.
You heard
he's
Jimmy
definitely
Butler.
soft as custard. But no, I'm talking Ant Davis. He's Charmin. He's Charmin soft. Like, there's no reason why he's that big and that powerful, but he does not want to get down low like that. There's no reason why he's not comfortable at this point in his career playing center. He will not play center. That just goes to show you
that's not true. He played center. When he played this year, he played center. He played for us last year.
He's played because
he played it in the bubble.
He's played because he's had to, but he doesn't prefer to play. He doesn't like getting big down there.
Well, what's wrong with that? You don't prefer it, but if you do it, what's the problem?
But he's never successful when he does. Anytime you see Ant Davis get down low and have to get big with somebody, he goes down and he's shaking in his little boots, his little eyebrows.
Okay, so what's wrong playing him at the 4?
Built that way.
What's wrong playing him at the 4?
He's good at the 4. He's great at the 4.
Okay, so what's wrong playing him at the 4?
No, I'm just saying he's just soft. I just think Anthony Davis is one of the softest big men in the league.
I can name 2 or 3 ahead of him, but yeah, carry on.
Well, let's move right. So we're talking about the Lakers here. Let's move right into that. Lakers. Is the Lakers back? Go ahead, Freddie. We'll start with the big mouth Laker fan here. Go ahead.
Scary nights are ahead of us, gentlemen. Scary, scary, scary nights. Y'all see what's going on. Chemistry is getting built. Time is on our side. We're the most healthiest.
The same Lakers team?
This is the most healthiest we've been all year. Yes,
What?
we played horrible the whole season, but this is the healthiest you've seen us on the outside of us not having AD and Kendrick Nunn. And you know what, Ray? Even your hater self, you gotta agree with me on this. Nobody and their mama expected LeBron James to be playing how he's playing in year 19. Nobody.
It's LeBron James. What do you mean?
But nobody expected that.
Yes, I do.
And then you know what I feel sorry for you. Hold on, sir. It's my turn. You sit in your seat and you wait your turn. And I feel sorry for this man that he got to put up with Russell Westbrook, even though I know he's there because of him. That he got to deal with a guy who's shooting the ball horrible, who's deal with a guy who turns the ball over at a high clip, and there's people that just still defend this man. Hey, Joe, I'm going to tell you the funniest thing before we got on the show. We started with a group chat. Somebody said, the Lakers should let Russell Westbrook let him make decisions with the ball. It shouldn't be LeBron. It should be Russ. And I said, that's the most comical thing I've ever heard. That's the most comical thing I've ever heard, that you're going to trust Russ over Bron, who's won championships. That's the most comical thing I've ever heard. Good thing I wasn't drinking. I would have spit the drink out. It would have been bad. But right now, Bron is playing 1 through 5. And then the steal in free agency, Malik Monk. Do I need to say a little bit
He was
louder?
a bust.
He
Malik
was a bust. He's a bust.
Monk.
He's a bust.
He ain't no bust now. You see what
He's
he
a
doing?
bust.
Why? Because he's on the Lakers team, not on the Hornets team. He's a
Look
bust.
what he
Exactly.
doing for us, Ray.
He's a bust.
Look what he doing for
He's a
us,
bust.
Ray.
He's a
Look
bust.
what he doing for us,
He's a
Ray.
bust, man.
He's a bust.
He's a bust.
Maybe he's on a bust franchise now that he's averaging what? Let me look up how many points Malik
hold
Monk
up,
is averaging.
hold up, Freddie. Every time you talk
Let him
about
know-
the
let him know,
Lakers,
Ray.
every time you talk about the Lakers, and Westbrook was on the Wizards last year, you were downplaying Westbrook. Westbrook's on the Lakers now. All Westbrook is God. Everybody that comes to the Lakers, they turn into God. With you, he's a bust, dude. That dude's a bust.
Man.
He can't guard nobody. He can't guard nobody. He's only good for shooting threes. So if you put him down in the blow post, he's going to get abused all day long. And that's the way. And you got Wayne Ellington who can do the same thing Monk does, but plays a little bit better defense than Monk. So I mean, basically, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. And I told you this when he came to the Lakers. Westbrook is a cancer. Westbrook has been a cancer everywhere he has gone. Look what the Wizards are doing without Westbrook right now. Look what the Wizards are doing with the weather.
No, look what
And
they're
then
doing
look
with
what
the
the Lakers
Lakers
are doing.
roster right now. Look what the Wizards are doing with the Lakers roster right now. Think about that. They're literally.
Did the Washington Wizards come in the season with 4 or 5 guys down? Did the Washington Wizards?
Here we go, injury. Here we go. Hold up, Freddie.
7 people go to COVID protocol.
Hey, I'm finna tell you something. You talking about injured players and stuff like that. They're all professional. They all go to NBA for something. You cannot put it all on injured players. You got to have the next man up. The next man. If you're a championship team, the next man comes up has to be the next man up to make you still be that caliber. The Lakers does not have a bench, and that's been shown throughout the season.
They do have a bench, but this team is dependent on the big three. When you get a Russell Westbrook who's getting paid 45 plus each year, you can't do much in free agency. You can't go out and spend $10,000 on a player in free agency. So you have to go the minimum route, and that's what they did. So now that they're getting back healthy, AD soon to be back. Give them to March, and I will be on here, every time we do a show.
And who's going to be the next man to go down for the Lakers? Anthony Davis come out. Who's going to be the next one to go down?
Nobody.
Anthony Davis will go back down before the playoff starts again.
100%. Anthony Davis is soft as custard.
Anthony Davis?
They cannot. I'm sorry, what you say, Ray?
Anthony Davis will go back down again before the playoff starts. He's soft.
Absolutely.
He doesn't work out his legs. And I'm going to tell you that's the biggest problem. He doesn't work on the off season. You can say he put in all kinds of work. He doesn't work out with no weights, no nothing for his lower body. And what has happened in his NBA career, it's always his lower body that always get hurt.
Absolutely. Same.
Because he's trying to
time in the world.
He's trying to play. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the whole time he was in New Orleans, every injury that he had was lower body. When he was Kentucky, right? When he was in Kentucky, lower body injuries. He has a history of being lazy in the offseason. He's soft in it when it comes down to being
lazy
aggressive.
because we're not seeing the work.
He's not built for this.
Let's not do that. Hold on. Let's not do that because we don't see what this man do in the offseason. Let's not say he's always lazy.
What do you mean?
No, I'm not.
We see what he's not doing, and what he's not doing is putting in the work.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what.
So no. Hold on, Ray. So what you mean to tell me, Dre, is you're there. You seeing what AD's doing in the weight room, right?
I see the ramifications of him not working out. I see his body.
But you can't call him lazy if you don't see. You can't call him lazy if you don't see this man in the offseason. He put it in the work. That's just all I'm saying.
What kind of work is he putting in? He's not putting. He's not putting in the lower body work. He thinks he's a point guard. He thinks he's a point guard that can dribble the ball out there, and that's where he gets his problem with his freaking ankles. If he puts his butt in the low post, his ankle would not be a problem because he's not doing these little dribble cuts, anything else. He's just posting, pivoting, and putting the ball in the goal. That's what he needs to play, and the Lakers are not forcing him down in that low blocks to play. That's what he needs to play at.
And we all know, as Anthony Davis, fans we are, that Anthony Davis started off when he first started playing basketball as a what?
Point guard. He played high
Point
school
guard.
as a point guard in high school.
Point guard. He's got that mentality. He's got that mentality where he stays away on the, on the perimeter. He's not built for that inside. DeAndre Ayton will put his little skinny frail behind
No, he
him
won't.
on the man. Don't let me get started.
Hey, AD gave him a 40 piece, and DeAndre couldn't guard him, and we seen that.
But Andre Ayton also scored double figures and pulled down double rebounds in the game.
Say it again for me.
Yeah,
Rob.
but he couldn't stop AD from getting his.
Well, he's scoring. He's putting in points, and they couldn't stop Booker either. Lakers couldn't stop Booker.
That's not on AD. We talking about AD. That's not on AD.
And that's a perfect comment, Rob. The fact that let's talk about the defense on the Lakers. The Lakers they have the worst defensive efficiency in the NBA at this point. I think they were like 30, 31st. Yes.
Yeah.
Not anymore, sir. Go look it up. We're ranked.
No, I'm positive. I'm positive. They're in the bottom half.
Ray, can you look that up for us, please?
They're in the bottom half of defensive efficiency.
Because at one point
I wouldn't even say they're in the bottom 10.
Because at one point we were number 10 this year.
No, listen. You guys are the bottom third. I say at least 26.
I'm willing to bet a Coke with you.
I'm waiting to come up.
Yeah, I got to hear this one. I got to know this.
All right, let's see here. Where's Lakers at? That's the East. Let's get to the West. Oh, I'm trying to find the West. They just give me the East. I think you can give me the West. Okay, here we go. They all mixed in together. All right, let's see here. Right now, the Lakers are with 39 games played. They're ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're fifth right now.
In defense?
With 39 games.
Try to tell you, sir.
But listen to this. The Lakers got 39 games. Everybody except for one team, Sacramento Kings, has played 40, and Milwaukee Bucks has played 40. Everybody else has only played 37, 38 games,
numbers
36 games. So that's what the numbers are. That's what
is very impressive now, isn't it, sir? Say it.
Well, they give up 100. They give up 180 points a game. 180 points a game.
Good for the NBA. That is good.
Golden State's only giving up 102.
That's
a game.
Good for the NBA. 108 points in today's NBA.
Well, Golden State's giving up only 102.
They're averaging 108 points. That means some games they're giving up 120.
Yeah.
But for us to be ranked top 5, Dre, say that is very impressive.
I say that numbers do lie.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you see what he do? He bring up the numbers, and when I'm right, your numbers don't even matter. Okay, I got you.
Forget those numbers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a defensive efficiency right there. But I mean, if you look at what if you look at Lakers' upcoming game, they got to play the Hawks at home. They got the Memphis Grizzlies on the 9th. They got the Sacramento Kings. They should win that one. They go to Denver. Play in Denver. That might not be a win because you're playing Mile House Stadium.
That's a win.
No.
So
they play Utah at home. They play Indiana Pacers. They should beat the Orlando Magic.
Win.
Put some respect on my Magic teams because we're
y'all
young
don't even respect y'all own.
They lacking right now. They lacking down there in Orlando. 2 hours away from me. They're 2 hours away from me. They're lacking.
When Jalen Suggs and Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac all come back and healthy. And Franz Wagner's the rookie of the year. I'm going to go ahead and say that too. This
is going to be this right here. January 23rd and 25th will be the 2 games that you got to look at the Lakers. They play the Miami Heat away, and they go to Brooklyn to play the Nets on the 23rd of January and 25th.
Sticks right there. So let me ask you a question, Fred. Since you're a huge Laker fan, right? Do you think that this team stays intact for the whole season? Do you think that they make a move at the trade?
Oh, of course so, sir. Because we're about to make a trade the next week or two. We about to make a trade. Kent Bazemore, DeAndre Jordan, they gone. We making open roster spots for the buyout market. We will be heavily in the buyout market. THT, Kendrick Nunn, they gonna be gone. for either a player like Jeremy Grant. They even look like a player in Portland, a Norman Powell. I've heard of Marcus Smart trade. Yes, we're actively looking to improve our roster. So no, this team would not be intact. No.
Would you bring in Ben Simmons?
No, hell no. Hell, Genie Bus. Let me say this. Let me see this. Say this with my face.
I see you got to take your glasses off. That's how serious it is.
Genie Bus. You bring in Ben Simmons. We gonna burn down CryptoArena.com. You better not touch that man.
Hey, I got a question for you, Freddie. Though there's been some rumors going around right now, and it has been some popped up that Russell Westbrook is on that trading block.
Yep.
It's impossible. Just because of his contract. He's not nobody in the right mind will touch him. Because of the contract, because of his age, because he's not the same guy he was 3 to 4 years ago. The Lakers and everybody else have got fooled by this man. Everybody looked at the triple doubles and they said, wow, Russ is a great player. Russ is a phenomenal player. But they forgot. They didn't look at the 7-8 turnovers. They didn't look at the low IQ. They didn't look to say, oh, he don't play great defense. They didn't look at those things. And the Lakers got fooled. Yes, I will say that. They got fooled. LeBron, AD got bamboozled. Horrible fit. He won't be traded.
I saw a stat the other day. They said that I think it was the first time, like in I want to say maybe like 3 years, he had 0 turnovers in one game.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you go 3 years and not have 0 turnovers? Like that's ridiculous as a point guard.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I'll go a step further and think that they'll be a better team if they made the courageous move and put Rondo on. I mean, not Rondo because he just got traded. Put Westbrook on the bench. Let Westbrook come on off the bench and let.
I will say this: when we made that run on Christmas Day, we made that run while Westbrook was on the bench. We went like on 30-9 run.
Put him on the bench. Let him run with the bench. That's
well, I told you Westbrook is a cancer, and it's been proven if you went on a 30-some-odd run with him on the bench. I mean, you proved that I'm gonna be up front with you, Freddie. Yeah, I don't like LeBron James. I never have. You know, you gotta give a man credit where his credit is due. I mean, he's playing good basketball. But I'm gonna tell you what, didn't he get rid of Westbrook, get a traditional point guard, let LeBron James play off the ball a little bit, and to run the offense through him when he get on the other side, like Michael Jordan did. When Scottie Pippen brought up the ball, they put Michael Jordan in that post. Put him in the post. Let him play that post area. I mean, to me, I think that triangle offense worked great with the Lakers right now.
Yeah, and I think that's why they played
without Westbrook gone.
Yeah, that's why I think they put LeBron at the 5 to kind of let him get in that post area a little bit more, to kind of help him space the floor out more. And he's been running the offense a lot more, and Russ been running a lot of back screens, getting in the offense a little bit more than him setting up the offense. But yeah, Russ needed to get bought in and say, hey, you know, you're the guy that need to be slashing to the basket. You're the guy that need to chase for rebounds. You're the guy that go chase for lobs, dunks, easy stuff like that. We don't need you being the main guy making the decisions. Because let's be honest, there was times where Anthony Davis was on the court feeling like he was the third option when he needed to be the number 1 or really number 2. Because I don't know who's ever minded thought that AD should have been the man of this team, should have been the leader.
He should have been. He should be.
No, he should not have. No,
listen, he should be the man of the team.
How? How when you have LeBron James still the best player? How?
You just said that you're surprised that LeBron James has been at this point for 19 years. At this point, 19 years, you need somebody to carry that weight, and that's what AD came to do. But what does AD do? He's soft as custard, and he can't carry the weight.
But when you have a LeBron James, who, by the way, is the only superstar in NBA history, like, you know, there is some decline in his game. There's decline in his game. But it's hard to see that decline because this man has expanded his game unlike Obi, unlike Kareem, unlike Jordan this late in their career.
LeBron has – hold on. Did you say LeBron has not expanded his game like Kobe?
Listen, dude. I'm a huge
Hold on. Did you just say –
I just said it. In year 19, Kobe Bryant did not look like this. He did not. That's facts.
Kobe Bryant didn't have the team that LeBron had either.
I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the play.
So you mean to tell me at this point, man,
I'm talking.
Hey, you're LeBron over there, and you're talking about all this stuff, and you talk about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has done more stuff than LeBron has done in short amount of period of time. Michael Jordan has played, 15 years total, maybe?
But
and LeBron's gone 19?
In year 19, Kobe did not look like this. And I love Kobe. Kobe's my dude, man. But let's be honest. He was not doing this in year 19. He wasn't.
Well, LeBron had to come in I'm going to tell you what. LeBron had to come in from high school to do what he had to do right now for 19 years. Jordan came in because he couldn't play coming straight out of high school because he had to go be 3 years of college basketball to even come into the NBA when Jordan came out in the 80s.
Could you imagine?
Just imagine what Michael could do, because I'm going to tell you what, and everybody said it straight out, and Dean Smith even said it. Michael Jordan even came out and said it. Dean Smith kept Michael Jordan where he was, under 20 points. If Michael Jordan would have gone into the NBA, because Michael Jordan's game was suited for the NBA already. If he would have been able to go in from high school all the way up, I don't think nobody would have ever catch. I think he would have beat Bill Russell's 11 championship,
and everything, absolutely.
Scoring title, scoring record, and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can't say nothing. Michael Jordan did with less amount of years and still played college basketball and still was a champion in all the time.
And not to mention with less talent on his teams.
Man, y'all better glad we didn't reach that hour mark, because
No, Freddie. We got you now, and you ain't got nothing else to say about it.
No, because you're trying to cut us off already. No, because I'm not talking about the player. I'm not talking about what he's done in his career. I'm comparing year 19. That's what I'm doing. Did Michael Jordan, he didn't make it to year 19, my bad. Did Kobe Bryant look like this in year 19? Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, I rest my case.
Do you know why?
Because he wasn't that dude.
No, because Kobe had to do so much more than LeBron had to do. Kobe had to carry everybody with a torn Achilles.
LeBron is carrying it right now.
LeBron he shouldn't have to, because he's got AD. He's got
no, Dre. What you're not going to do is say something. He shouldn't have to. No, Kobe shouldn't have had to, but guess what? He still had to. But guess what? Bron is in that situation, and he's doing it. Give him his credit.
I'm not taking anything from him, but I'm going to basically say that I don't think that LeBron at this point now with this team is going to be able to do anything.
And how many All-Stars on this team for the Lakers right now? How many All-Stars in NBA All-Stars?
No. Former All-Stars. Let's say that.
Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook, DeAndre Jordan,
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Who else is on that team?
The current All-Stars on this team is LeBron and AD. That's it.
What? So Russell Westbrook isn't an All-Star?
Hell no, he's on the bum All-Star, the turn of All-Star. I mean, my bad.
Right. Russell Westbrook is definitely he's not an All-Star anymore, but he definitely was an All-Star. You can't take that from him.
Yeah, let's just say 3. We'll say 3.
No, you've got more than 3. You've got DeAndre Jordan.
No. Current. Hey, if the season they would be winning, only 3 people going on that All-Star team. Carmelo wasn't going to go on there. Dwight Howard wasn't going to go on there.
We just asked to name former All-Stars in there, right? Am I right?
I mean,
that's what I said. Former,
but that's okay. Those former All-Stars are out of their prime.
Exactly. That's why they're not going to do anything, bro.
Hey, I'm going to end it like this, my friend, my brother. We will continue to watch. And every week we'll come with an update. And I'm going to say, I told you so. I told you so. I heard somebody say that the Lakers were best friends with the Golden Girls. That's how old they are.
Well, we can't say that. I mean, rest Betty White's her soul, man. She's the last Golden Girl allowed.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
She almost made it to be 100. I thought she was going to live at least to be 100, But I mean, you got you got to understand too, the Lakers are getting kind of old, and can the Lakers withstand their Geritol? Because I don't know how much Ben Gay they have in that training box.
I don't know how much Epsom salt is in those baths at this point. Like they need game checks and Social Security checks, man. They getting all that for that team, man. They're old as dirt, man. I don't even think my son was alive when some of those players first came in the league.
Yeah, this has been a good show, man. This has been an awesome first show. We got Freddie fired up. We got him speechless. We got him lighting up. We almost had him come through the screen. I mean, you got it all on Freddie right there in these segments here. But I mean, this has been a good show. I mean, thank Andre, Freddie for asking me to be the moderator for this show. I mean, this has been a blast.
Man, we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you.
And I mean, me and Freddie go back. When I first came on, he put me on Real Talk, and I was on Real Talk for a minute. Then he had to ship me somewhere else because I think he couldn't handle me no more. So he had to ship me off the show. So I mean, but you can catch Freddie on this. You still doing the Laker Talk, Freddie?
I haven't done it in a while, but hey, I'm doing a play-by-play game tomorrow night of the Lakers versus the Hawks. Make sure you tune in. That it's gonna be epic.
Make sure y'all tune in, man. Make sure you see the game checks and the Social Security checks delivered out at halftime.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I'm gonna predict LeBron's stats for tomorrow night. I'm thinking about a 45-piece nugget. What about a 9-piece, and what about a 10-piece assist? 45, 9, and 10. Woo-hoo. And rough.
It's gonna stop Young though.
With the win.
But anyway, I'm also going to be doing a play-by-play for the national championship. I'll be doing a pregame show probably about 2 hours before the game starts, about 7 o'clock. I'm trying to get my boys, Dre, and the college breakdown show to step up on this. And we were actually going to do the play-by-play call for the national championship, Alabama versus Georgia. This should be epic. So, I mean, you got any other parting wisdoms, Andre?
Oh man, I'll be here every Thursday with talking that trash with Fred and you, and we'll be and making them mad. I love getting Fred mad.
Hey, it takes a long time to get me mad. We'll see if you can do that.
No, it actually didn't take a long time. It only took like 40 seconds, and you're almost coming out of the tank.
I wasn't mad, because me mad, you would have seen that little vein pop, but it didn't come out yet. It almost did, but it didn't come out yet.
I thought I almost had a 3D camera there when you coming out of that screen. But it's been Dre, Freddie, Ray, keeping it real on the All Sports All Place Network. You can see us at 7:30 Central Time. Well, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. Let me get my time zone right. So we'll be right back on next Thursday. Peace out, brothers.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so